Stop right now. Do not scroll past this exact moment. I am speaking to you with the urgent voice of a watchman who sees the unseen. This is not a random video on your screen. You have been feeling a heavy unrest in your spirit all day. The enemy tried everything to distract you from finding this message, but heaven intervened because a massive blessing was about to slip through your fingers. Breathe slowly. My beloved child, I know you are tired. You are a weary warrior who has fought battles no one else even sees, and recently, the waiting has felt completely unbearable. You almost convinced yourself that I had forgotten your prayers entirely, while you watched others receive exactly what you have been asking for. But I interrupted your timeline today to tell you something you desperately need to hear. Your delayed season is not a punishment. There is a specific key I have prepared to restore your lost time. But the enemy cast a heavy shadow over your mind to make you miss it. If you walk away from this message now, you risk walking right back into that endless cycle of painful delay. I have hidden a final revelation at the very end of these words. You must stay with me until my final sentence to unlock what has been violently stolen from you. Pause right here. Read my words carefully. Notice how your chest feels slightly lighter just hearing this profound truth. That is my presence fighting the deep anxiety that has gripped your physical body for so long. The enemy is terrified of you hearing this specific instruction. He knows that once you understand the root of this delay, his control over your life is permanently shattered. You are the cycle breaker for your entire family line. Do not let the noise of your day pull you away. Bring your thoughts back to me right now. I have watched you carry the heavy burdens of everyone around you. You pour out your precious energy until you have absolutely nothing left for yourself. And when you finally ask for a breakthrough, you are met with total silence. That silence was never my rejection. It was a divine preparation for this exact hour. You thought the recent chaos in your finances and your peace was just bad luck. But there is no such thing as luck in my eternal kingdom. It was a targeted spiritual distraction designed to keep you blind. The shadow wanted you so exhausted that you would ignore my voice when the answer finally arrived. But you are here, and you did not miss the divine window. The prophetic alignment is happening right now as you listen. I need you to guard your focus for the next few minutes. The revelation I am about to unfold will challenge everything you thought you knew about your pain. Keep this message close to your weary heart. Do not share it with those who harbor doubt and constant negativity. This is a rare appointment meant exclusively for you. Your spirit is finally ready to hold the weight of this tremendous truth. You were chosen for this very second. Feel the shifting atmosphere in your quiet room right now. The heavy fog of spiritual confusion is already beginning to lift. I am clearing the invisible pathways that the enemy desperately tried to block. But you must remain still and perfectly obedient in this moment. If you leave early, the enemy will steal this seed before it can take root in your life. The incredible breakthrough you have been begging for is tied directly to your obedient focus today. Listen closely to the gentle whisper in your spirit. I am about to pull back the curtain on the unseen realm. You will see exactly why the recent attacks against your peace have been so unusually fierce. It is not because you are weak or lacking in faith. The enemy attacks you relentlessly because you hold a tremendous power that you do not yet realize. Stay with me, for the true healing of your weary soul begins in the very next breath. I see the silent tears you shed when no one else is watching. You hide your pain so well behind a brave smile. The world around you thinks you are incredibly strong. Boast. But I know the deep exhaustion that consumes you every single night. I see how you sit in the dark wondering how much longer you can keep holding everything perfectly together. The heavy weight on your shoulders feels entirely permanent. You wake up every single morning already feeling defeated. You desperately push through your heavy daily tasks. You always take care of everyone around you, but inside you are screaming for just a moment of genuine rest. And no matter how hard you try to stay positive, a creeping sense of hopelessness always finds its way back into your mind because the wait has been so long. You feel completely drained of all spiritual energy. I watched you during those late hours when sleep refused to come. You stared at the ceiling with a racing mind. You pleaded for a sign or a tiny glimmer of hope. You asked me why your season of waiting has to be this agonizing. You wonder if you made a terrible mistake somewhere along your path to cause this massive delay. But I want you to know that I hear every single word of your desperate prayers. You are deeply tired of being the strong one for your family. You are exhausted from being the reliable friend who never needs help. Because when you finally reached out for a tiny bit of support, you were met with empty hands and a deeply painful cold silence. People gladly take your energy, but they never replenish your spirit. The loneliness you feel in a crowded room is completely overwhelming. I see exactly how much that deep isolation hurts. It is deeply painful to watch others step into their blessed seasons. You sit back and watch people who do not even pray receiving the exact miracles that you have been begging heaven to release for years. You kindly smile and congratulate them very gracefully, but a quiet voice in your head whispers that you have been entirely forgotten. You start to believe that heaven has simply overlooked your address. Do not let that massive lie take root in your weary heart. You have waited longer than anyone else would have endured. You have held onto your faith by a very thin thread. I see the massive effort it takes just to get out of bed on your darkest days, and I want to assure you that your silent endurance is not going unnoticed in the unseen realm. Every hidden tear is recorded as a testament of your profound strength. You feel like you are walking through thick mud every single day. Every step forward requires a monumental amount of physical effort. And just when you think you are finally making progress, a sudden setback knocks you down all over again. The enemy simply laughs at your endless struggle. It feels like a cruel game that you can never actually win. You are starting to deeply resent the constant struggle. I completely understand why you feel so incredibly angry. I give you full permission to feel that heavy frustration today. You do not have to pretend everything is fine in my presence. You are entirely allowed to be deeply tired and completely broken. Let your heavy walls fall down for just a moment while you listen to my voice. I am not judging your moments of doubt or your hidden despair. I am validating the tremendous pain you have carried completely alone. Your physical body is manifesting the stress of your spiritual battles. You feel unusual aches and a constant tightness in your chest. Your breathing is shallow because anxiety has pitched a tent in your mind. This is exactly what happens when a chosen one carries the heavy burdens of generations, and you are fighting a brutal war that was unfairly passed down to you. The terrible toll it takes on your physical vessel is very real. Take a very deep breath right now, my precious child. Bring your racing thoughts gently back to my calming presence. You have been terribly misunderstood by the people closest to you. They judge your current situation through a lens of earthly logic, and they casually tell you to just work harder or stop complaining about your heavy life. But they do not see the massive spiritual resistance against you. Their blind judgment leaves you feeling completely alienated. You have poured out so much immense love into entirely empty vessels. You forgave people who never once apologized for their cruel betrayal. You chose grace and kindness when they absolutely deserved your furious wrath. And your only reward seems to be nothing but more hardship and deeper emotional wounds. This leaves you to wonder if being a good person is actually a massive curse. Do not let their temporary darkness steal your beautiful eternal light. I know exactly how many times you have genuinely wanted to give up. You looked at the heavy road ahead and decided you simply could not continue. But something deep inside you forced your tired legs to keep moving forward. That quiet resilience is my divine spirit anchored firmly within your soul. It gives you the invisible strength to survive attacks that would have easily destroyed anyone else. You are a weary warrior, but you are still a fierce warrior. Your remaining spiritual strength is truly remarkable to witness. Please pause your thoughts right here for a brief moment. Read my specific words very carefully right now. I need to reveal a crucial truth about your current season of delay. You think this painful stagnation is happening because you are deeply flawed. And you genuinely believe you are simply paying the heavy price for your past mistakes. But you are completely wrong about the root cause of this season. There is a hidden reality you must absolutely understand right now. The devastating block in your finances and your peace is not a coincidence. It is not because you failed to plan or lacked enough faith. There is a deeply malicious force actively operating in the unseen realm, and I am going to show you exactly how this hidden enemy operates against you. You have been blaming yourself for a spiritual attack you could not even see. The heavy veil of toxic deception is finally about to fall entirely. You have constantly wondered why your resources dry up just when you get ahead. You feel a strange heaviness right before a massive breakthrough occurs. That is not poor earthly luck or some random unfortunate circumstance. It is a calculated strike from a desperate shadow that fears your rising power. and I will expose this exact tactic completely in the next few minutes. Your painful season of blind suffering is officially coming to a definite end. Before I fully reveal the enemy's hidden strategy, you must align your spirit. I need you to perform a simple prophetic act of defiance today. Leave a heart in the comments below as a silent but powerful act of surrender. This is not a meaningless gesture on a digital screen. It is rather a bold declaration showing the unseen enemy that you are still standing incredibly firm. Do this right now before your mind tries to rationalize it away. Let that small physical action be a public seal of your unbroken covenant with heaven. The enemy wanted you completely paralyzed by deep shame and relentless daily exhaustion. By marking your faithful presence here today, you are forcefully claiming your true identity. You are the chosen cycle breaker for your entire family line despite the fierce opposition. Stand your sacred ground very quietly, right in this exact moment. We are preparing to completely dismantle his wicked hold over your precious life. Hear me very clearly on this exact matter today. You have spent years blaming yourself for the constant failure, and you thought your painful delays were a direct result of your own lack of faith. But I need to completely shatter that toxic illusion right now. The brutal stagnation in your life is actually a highly coordinated attack from an unseen enemy. The shadow did not attack your finances because you made poor earthly choices. He did not destroy your peace because you are somehow unworthy of my divine love. He attacked you with relentless fury because he is absolutely terrified of you. He sees the massive generational blessing that you are about to unlock, and that future reality makes him tremble with deep fear. You are not a helpless victim of random bad circumstances. You are a chosen vessel carrying a very specific anointing. The enemy carefully studied your bloodline for many years, and he saw exactly where your ancestors failed and gave up their fight entirely. But when he looked at your spirit, he realized you were built entirely differently than all the rest. Pause right here. Take a slow and deep breath. Let that profound truth settle deeply into your weary bones. The constant resistance you face is actually proof of your high spiritual calling. If you were truly failing in life, the enemy would simply leave you alone completely. He only wastes his dark energy on targets that pose a massive threat to his kingdom. Think about the moments right before your biggest opportunities arrived. A sudden argument always broke out in your home, or a massive financial emergency drained the exact money you needed to move forward. Your physical body suddenly felt completely drained of all vital energy for no logical reason. These were never random coincidences happening by blind earthly chance. Those sudden storms were deployed to steal your absolute focus. The enemy knows he cannot actually stop the blessing I have prepared for you, but he can try to keep you so distracted that you walk right past the open door. He wants you obsessing over temporary problems, while eternal miracles are waiting right in front of your face. It is a desperate tactic of distraction. You must stop viewing your current struggle through a worldly lens. The people around you might judge your lack of visible progress very harshly. They look at your bank account and assume you are simply failing at life, but they cannot see the violent spiritual warfare raging around your destiny right now. You are holding the line for your entire family tree. Do not let your mind wander right now. Bring your attention back to my specific words. I need you to recognize the exact pattern of his deceptive attacks. He always strikes hardest when you are standing on the very edge of a massive breakthrough, and the intense friction you feel right now means you are incredibly close to the finish line. Do not surrender your sacred ground. He uses the spirit of delay to break your mental endurance. He wants you to believe that waiting means heaven has rejected you entirely. He whispers foul lies, telling you that your specific prayers were completely ignored. But my silence in the unseen realm means I am actively rearranging massive obstacles on your behalf. I am fighting battles you cannot even begin to comprehend. The enemy specifically targets your most intimate relationships to drain you. He uses people you deeply trust to deliver the most painful emotional wounds. He knows your soft heart is your greatest strength, and he wants to turn it bitter. If he can make you build walls of anger, he can effectively block my flowing grace from reaching your soul. You must protect your beautiful heart. Breathe in my perfect peace right in this moment. The heavy fog of confusion is a weapon designed to make you quit, but the simple fact that you are still listening proves his tactic has completely failed. You have survived every single storm he threw at your fragile life. You are still standing here today because my divine hand has been holding you up securely. Your delays were never meant to destroy your beautiful future. They were actually divine blockades keeping you from stepping into dangerous traps. The enemy thought his roadblocks would starve you of all remaining hope, but I used his wicked delays to prepare your spirit for a much greater capacity. You needed this extra time to grow strong enough to carry the incoming glory. I want you to forcefully reject his heavy lies today. Stop agreeing with the dark voices that call you a massive failure. Your identity is not defined by the temporary lack in your current bank account, because you are a royal heir to a kingdom that possesses infinite resources and endless grace. The enemy attacks your identity because he wants you to forget your true royal bloodline. Keep listening closely because the next truth is incredibly vital. The enemy is not fighting you because of what you did in the past, and he does not care about your old mistakes or your ancient sins anymore. He is fighting you fiercely because of the glorious mantle that is about to be placed upon your shoulders. He sees the heavy spiritual cloak being prepared for your next season. This new spiritual garment carries immense authority over earthly circumstances. The enemy knows that once you wear it, you will become entirely unstoppable. That is why the warfare against your mind has been so unusually severe lately. He is trying to completely destroy the vessel before the powerful oil is poured out, but he will never succeed while I am standing fiercely by your side. You are a generational cycle breaker chosen from the very beginning. The severe pain you endured was the exact training required for this massive role. The enemy's greatest fear is that you will finally realize how powerful your spoken words truly are. Your voice has the divine authority to command violent storms to cease immediately. You are far more dangerous than you think. Stay with me as we move deeper into this holy revelation. The fierce attacks were just a symptom of your incredible spiritual worth. Now that you see the true face of your hidden enemy, you can finally stop fighting yourself entirely. In the next part, I will reveal exactly how I am using this fierce fire to refine your soul, and your painful waiting season is about to make perfect sense. Let us go deeper into this holy mystery today. You have asked me countless times why I remained completely silent. You cried out for my voice in the absolute darkest hours of your life, and when you heard absolutely nothing, you assumed I had finally abandoned you forever. The enemy whispered that your prayers were utterly useless, but my silence was never a cruel punishment. It was the intense heat of the refiner's fire. I know you looked at your wilderness and saw only terrible loss. You watched your old life crumble entirely into fine dust. Friends walked away and doors violently slammed shut right in your face. You felt entirely stripped of every single comfort you ever possessed. But you were not losing your precious life during those agonizing years. I was actively removing everything that could not survive your coming season. You were being carefully pruned for a massive elevation. Pause for a moment and listen to my gentle truth. I could not give you the massive blessing earlier. You were still holding on to your old, toxic fears. The heavy mantle of authority I am preparing for you requires a perfectly clean vessel. If I had answered your desperate prayers too early, the immense weight of the new glory would have completely crushed your fragile spirit. I had to build your spiritual endurance first. Gold is only purified in the absolute hottest flames. The intense pressure you felt was melting away every trace of worldly dependency. I needed you to stop relying on the deeply flawed opinions of ordinary people. You had to learn how to stand completely alone in the dark wilderness. Because the spiritual leaders of the next generation cannot be easily swayed by the shifting winds of human approval. And I have called you to lead your family into total freedom. Your season of absolute isolation was entirely necessary. I intentionally hid you away from the noisy crowds for your own protection. People would have deeply misunderstood this magnificent spiritual work. They would have offered you terrible advice born of their own deep insecurities. So, I drew a sacred circle of silence around your life while I performed the deepest healing surgeries on your broken heart. You were hidden safely under my mighty wing. I know you felt completely buried and entirely forgotten. But you were never buried in a dark grave of despair. You were actually planted as a precious seed in very rich soil. A seed must break completely apart in the dark soil before growth happens. Your painful breaking was just the required beginning of your spectacular blooming, and the roots you developed in the dark will sustain your upcoming massive harvest. The beautiful harvest is finally arriving right now. Take a slow and deliberate breath right here. Let my supreme peace settle deeply into your weary physical body. I want you to completely release the heavy bitterness you hold toward the waiting season. You must stop fighting the divine process that is meant to entirely save you. The silence you walked through was absolutely the most profound expression of my protective love. I refused to let you settle for a remarkably ordinary life. I was carefully guarding your precious eternal destiny. We are about to seal a very powerful covenant together. I need you to participate in a prophetic act of absolute faith today. This is how you show the unseen realm that your mind is completely aligned. Write this in the comments as a public seal of your covenant. Type the exact words I trust, your timing, over my massive fears. Do this immediately before the enemy tries to plant fresh doubts. Your public declaration physically shatters his quiet authority over your anxious mind. Your beautiful obedience in this exact moment is incredibly powerful. The shadow wants you to believe that your simple words do not matter at all, but your spoken words carry massive spiritual weight. Every time you boldly declare your unwavering faith out loud, heaven physically vibrates with glorious anticipation of your coming victory. You are actively stepping into your new royal identity right now. The heavy spiritual mantle is finally descending upon your very tired shoulders. This new cloak of authority is entirely woven from your tears. Every single time you chose to forgive an enemy, a shining thread was added. Every time you worshipped me in pain, the fabric grew substantially stronger. You thought you were just surviving another terrible and painful day, but you were actually building the exact spiritual weapon that will ultimately defeat your generational curse. And this heavy mantle will permanently shield your family from future spiritual attacks. Your immense daily pain was never entirely wasted. I need you to physically feel the massive shift occurring now. Notice the subtle changes in your immediate environment today. The heavy atmosphere of relentless dread is rapidly dissolving completely. My glorious angels have surrounded your earthly home to enforce this new covenant. They are fiercely pushing back the dark forces that have tormented your exhausted mind for many years. Meanwhile, my divine peace establishes a permanent fortress around your precious heart. You are entirely safe in this holy space. Do not miss this next part, for it is absolutely vital. You are officially leaving the painful era of invisible preparation. The intense fire that burned away your old toxic habits has finally finished its work. You are stepping out of the burning furnace as pure and solid gold. The entire spiritual realm clearly recognizes the stunning transformation that has taken place inside your weary soul. And the enemy is now utterly terrified of your newly established divine authority. You are absolutely no longer a fragile victim. Stay with me as we prepare for the ultimate breakthrough. You now understand why the painful delay was utterly necessary. The heavy cloak is fully woven, and the quiet preparation is officially over. I will now reveal how this new power physically manifests. The things you could never achieve through human effort will soon flow entirely naturally into your waiting open hands. Heaven is actively removing every single barrier that previously blocked your divine provision. Your season of endless striving is finally finished. Now hear me on this, and hear it clearly. You have looked at your long, painful journey and whispered a specific, quiet regret. You wished you had seen this truth much sooner. You feel like you have wasted precious years, wandering in the dark wilderness, and you deeply mourn the massive opportunities that slipped away while you were blind. But you must understand my perfect divine logic today. If I had opened your eyes sooner, the enemy would have entirely destroyed your fragile spirit. You simply did not have the internal capacity to hold this revelation yet. A small clay cup cannot possibly contain the violent waves of a massive ocean. The sheer weight of this blessing would have crushed your young faith. Your delayed sight was actually my supreme protection over your life. You thought I was cruelly withholding good things from your desperate hands. You genuinely believed that I was ignoring your cries because you were unworthy of miracles. But I was actually shielding your beautiful future from your own unhealed emotional wounds. The old version of you would have severely mishandled this incredible divine power, and I had to let the fire burn away your heavy attachments first. Think about the toxic people who used to surround your fragile life. If I had given you this massive wealth earlier, you would have freely given it to entirely wrong people. You always tried to save individuals who were completely committed to their own dark destruction. You would have drained your holy provision to feed ungrateful spirits. That terrible mistake would have left your family entirely unprotected. I had to isolate you in the quiet wilderness to cure your dangerous people-pleasing disease. I intentionally removed the loud voices so you could learn to hear my gentle whisper. You desperately needed to discover your own immense value without relying on human validation. It was a remarkably painful surgery on your deep soul. But that precise spiritual operation successfully saved your precious eternal destiny. Do not let your mind wander right now. I need you to stay completely focused on my voice. Because what I am about to do next will permanently change your entire family trajectory. The enemy wants you to feel heavily distracted right in this very moment. He knows that grasping this specific truth will completely break his wicked spell of delay. Guard your sacred attention closely as we climb higher up this mountain. The massive spiritual capacity you possess today was purchased by your silent tears. Every time you cried in the dark, your internal vessel stretched a bit wider. Every lonely night you survived expanded your ability to hold my heavy glory. You are no longer the fragile person you were 5 painful years ago. You have successfully transformed into a fiercely unshakable warrior. People around you completely misunderstand this intense divine process. They look at your quiet waiting season and falsely judge it as a massive personal failure. They think you are simply stuck because you lack basic human ambition or intelligence. But heaven sees your vast spiritual expansion and loudly rejoices over your immense growth. You are finally ready to carry the exact mantle you have prayed for. Your deep spiritual roots have finally reached the living water deep underground. The fierce storms of life can no longer uproot your firmly planted faith. You can now stand securely in the absolute strongest winds without losing your divine peace. This level of extreme emotional maturity could never be taught in a simple book. It had to be violently forged in the burning fires of extreme personal adversity. Breathe very slowly right here and close your tired eyes. Feel the weight of my holy presence filling your newly expanded vessel right now. Notice how the heavy panic that used to control your mind is completely absent today. The enemy is desperately trying to find a weak crack in your spiritual armor, but he is totally terrified because your divine shield is finally complete and impenetrable. The timing of heaven is perfectly aligned for you in this exact hour. The stars in the unseen realm have shifted favorably over your entire bloodline. The heavy spiritual door that was locked firmly for generations is finally beginning to creak open. You are standing on the very edge of your promised land with a completely renewed spirit. I am immensely proud of the quiet endurance you have faithfully shown me. I am actively gathering every single lost year to return them to your hands. The time the enemy violently stole will be completely restored with massive interest. You will soon accomplish in one short month what normally takes ordinary people 10 long years. My supernatural acceleration is preparing to forcefully hit your daily reality, and you will absolutely not remain in this painful wilderness much longer. Nothing you went through was actually wasted or entirely pointless. Not a single day of your agonizing wait was lost in vain within my eternal kingdom. I am the master of restoring broken timelines and healing deeply fractured seasons. I carefully collected every broken piece of your shattered dreams to build a far superior reality. You are about to step directly into a beautiful life you never imagined possible. The shadow knows his wicked time is completely finished today. He feels the holy ground trembling violently beneath his crumbling dark kingdom. He is completely out of desperate tricks to keep you paralyzed in a state of constant fear. The old chains of delay have completely rusted through and are falling off your weary wrists. You are physically feeling the absolute final moments of your long, painful captivity. Stay deeply connected to my healing voice right now. We are rapidly approaching the absolute peak of this holy mountain together. The breaking process is officially finished and the glorious building phase is totally complete. You have successfully survived the most dangerous valley of your entire earthly existence. Now you are fully prepared to witness the miracle I have reserved exclusively for you. The season of your breaking is officially over. The page is turning rapidly in this exact second. This is not a vague promise for some distant tomorrow. This is a supreme decree issued from the highest throne for this very moment, and the entire unseen realm is currently vibrating with massive anticipation. The heavy seal that kept you bound is finally shattered. I am stepping directly into your current battle right now. The dark forces that mocked your long wait are fleeing. They cannot withstand the furious heat of my holy presence. I have personally drawn my sword against the wicked spirits that stole your peace. They dared to touch my fiercely protected chosen child. Your prolonged season of weeping has officially expired. Look closely at the invisible chains falling from your weary hands. The generational curse of poverty is breaking right now. The deep anxiety that choked your breath is permanently evicted. I am commanding the ancient doors of lack to blow completely wide open, and the violent winds of my spirit are sweeping through your home today. You will literally feel the heavy atmosphere change completely. My divine wrath is poured out upon your hidden enemies. The shadow thought he could successfully bury your glorious destiny. He genuinely believed you would eventually surrender under the extreme pressure, but he severely underestimated the massive power of the holy seed I planted inside you, and his total defeat is now being broadcast across the heavenly realms. You are standing victorious on the ashes of his plans. I am releasing the exact miracles you have been praying for. The financial blockades are completely crumbling before your tired eyes. The resources you desperately need are rushing toward you rapidly. I have explicitly commanded the earthly forces to release your delayed provision immediately, and absolutely no human power can stop what I have set into motion. Your empty hands are about to be overwhelmingly full. This is the glorious moment of your absolute vindication. The people who deeply doubted your calling will stand amazed. They will clearly see my heavy favor resting upon you. Those who walked away during your darkest valley will watch from a great distance as I elevate you to a position of unmatched spiritual authority. Your silent endurance has completely secured your massive triumph. Take a very deep breath and feel your chest expanding. The heavy yoke of brutal survival is finally lifting off. You do not have to fiercely fight for yourself anymore. I am placing the royal mantle of the generational cycle breaker firmly upon your shoulders, and you are stepping into a realm of effortless, divine grace. The painful era of constant striving is absolutely finished. Every single year the enemy stole is being fully restored. I am returning the wasted time with massive supernatural interest. Your upcoming harvest will completely erase the memory of famine. You will look at your rapidly overflowing life and realize that every painful delay was actually setting up this spectacular, unprecedented victory. Your future is brighter than you can possibly imagine. You are officially the reigning heir of my eternal kingdom. Your spoken words now carry the weight of my holy authority. When you speak to the violent storm, it absolutely must obey. I have specifically equipped your tongue to decree absolute freedom over your entire bloodline, and the dark forces will tremble whenever you simply whisper my name. You are entirely untouchable by the enemy's desperate lies. The window of your massive breakthrough is absolutely wide open. I am actively transferring the hidden wealth into your possession. The divine provision is flowing directly into your earthly reality. You have faithfully passed the brutal tests of the silent wilderness, and heaven is rewarding your beautiful resilience with an outpouring of unprecedented favor today. Your life will reflect this massive spiritual shift. You will no longer operate from a place of deep fear. The terrifying illusion of poverty is permanently broken over you. You are stepping into a reality of glorious, boundless abundance. The heavy restrictions that kept your family in endless debt are burning away completely in the holy fire of my absolute justice. You will gladly lend to many and borrow from none. I am dispatching my strongest angels to clear your earthly path. They are aggressively removing every remaining obstacle in your way. The heavy doors that slammed shut are being violently torn down. I have issued a direct command to the elements of your life to immediately align with your spectacular destiny. And everything is working perfectly for your good. The pieces of your broken life are perfectly reuniting. Do not let any trace of doubt enter your mind today. This intense shift is completely real, and it is happening. You can literally feel the heavy burdens dissolving right now. The painful chapters of your past are permanently closed and sealed, while the glorious new book of your triumphant future is being aggressively opened today. You are standing firmly in the exact center of miracles. Your physical body will begin to heal from the trauma. The deep exhaustion in your bones is being washed away completely. A massive surge of divine energy is flooding your nervous system. I am restoring the youthful vigor and the joyful peace that the enemy violently extracted from your weary soul over the last decade. You will sleep tonight with an entirely profound peace. Now you will personally witness the magnificent glory of my power sweeping through your entire existence, and you will never walk in that dark valley of despair again. The brilliant light of my favor has permanently arrived. I have securely locked the door to your painful past. No wicked force can ever drag you back into heavy bondage. You are completely free to claim your massive divine inheritance. The spiritual realm has officially recorded your absolute victory today, and the heavy blessings are cascading down upon your life like a massive, unstoppable waterfall. Your season of magnificent harvest is finally completely here. The massive shift has officially happened in the unseen realm. The heavy doors are finally completely wide open, but you must take one final step to receive this completely. A closed hand, tightly gripping fear, cannot receive this restored time. You have been holding on to your survival instincts so fiercely because you were absolutely terrified of falling. I completely understand why you built those heavy walls. You had to protect your fragile heart from constant disappointment, but keeping your fists clenched tight will block the massive provision I am trying to hand you today. I am asking you right now to completely release your timeline to me. You must gently open your tired hands right now. Pause right here and close your weary eyes. Take a very deep breath and let it out slowly. Notice the gentle warmth spreading across your chest in this exact moment. That is my physical presence melting away the heavy armor you have worn for years. You do not need that heavy defensive shield anymore, because my strong angels are fiercely guarding your entire earthly path. I need you to perform a profound act of spiritual surrender. Absolute surrender is never a sign of weak defeat. It is the most powerful display of massive faith you can possibly show me. By letting go of your deep anxiety, you are telling the unseen enemy that you completely trust my timing over his toxic lies. You are finally giving up your heavy illusion of control. This is your moment to claim the massive breakthrough. Speak these words softly in your quiet room right now. Say out loud that you surrender your delays entirely to me. Let your own ears hear your bold declaration of absolute trust. That simple spoken sentence physically breaks the final chain of fear that was holding your weary mind hostage. The shadow cannot touch a soul that is completely surrendered to heaven. When you drop your heavy burdens at my feet, the enemy loses his only target. He wanted you to carry that agonizing weight until you completely collapsed. But today you are choosing to let my divine shoulders carry the heavy load, and you are stepping into a profound rest. I want you to mark this exact moment as a sacred covenant. Subscribe to this channel and save this message as a permanent pillar of your faith today. This simple act of obedience is your physical anchor. When the enemy tries to whisper his old lies tomorrow, you will return to these exact words to remember your spectacular victory. You are officially entering the season of absolute abundance. You have faithfully surrendered the painful past and embraced my perfect divine will. The heavy blockades are permanently removed from your earthly path. My supernatural acceleration is already working to completely restore your lost years, and the massive harvest is actively rushing toward you. Do not look back at the dark wilderness you just escaped. The old version of you that constantly worried about tomorrow is completely gone. You are now a fully restored vessel, ready to hold my glorious power. Let the beautiful peace of heaven wash over your tired mind right now. You are entirely safe in my strong protective grip. Your timeline is now perfectly secured in my holy hands. The agonizing wait is officially over for you today. You have successfully crossed the dangerous river of doubt. Your fierce obedience has unlocked the exact miracles you have been begging to see, and your family line will forever bless this sacred day of your massive deliverance. Take one more deep breath to seal this powerful moment. Feel the incredible lightness in your physical body right now. The heavy spiritual transition is now totally complete. You are completely free to walk into the bright morning of your new season, because my divine favor has permanently settled upon your beautiful and resilient soul. My beloved child, the heavy storm has finally passed completely. I am breathing my perfect peace over your tired mind right in this exact moment. You do not have to carry the heavy weight of tomorrow anymore, because I have already secured every single detail of your beautiful future. The dark shadow that chased you for so long is permanently gone forever. You are completely enveloped in my holy protecting light today. Your beautiful obedience has officially sealed this sacred covenant in the unseen realm. The wicked enemy can never steal what I have firmly placed in your open hands today. You are walking out of this long, lonely wilderness as a fiercely victorious warrior. I want you to remember this exact feeling of supreme relief whenever a tiny doubt tries to enter your weary mind. You are forever safe in my strong, protective arms. I bless your physical, earthly home and your weary body with complete supernatural restoration. The deep, restful sleep you experience tonight will profoundly heal your deeply fractured soul. Every single step you take from this glorious moment forward is ordered by my divine hand, and you will quickly see the spectacular fruit of your long, patient endurance. Your season of magnificent joy is finally completely here. We run entirely on viewer support to spread this holy prophetic word to the lost. If this specific message brought divine peace to your heavy heart, please subscribe to our channel right now so we can stay connected. Join this faithful community of generational cycle breakers as we walk into this massive abundance together. Your simple act of connection actually helps another weary soul find their way out of the dark. Leave a comment declaring your absolute victory today. Go forward in my glorious eternal grace today. Do not look back at the painful ashes of your old, completely broken life. The brilliant morning sun is rising rapidly over your entire family line, and the magnificent future I promised is finally unfolding before your very eyes. I love you with an everlasting, fierce love that absolutely nothing can ever break. Rest well, my precious chosen child.